It looks like Brennen is ready. Brennen, can you hear us for the interview?
Yes. Yes, I can.
All right. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing well. We're glad to have you here. So the first question I have for you, Brennen, is what are you looking to improve on in the upcoming season?
This upcoming season, my main goal for this off-season was to improve my offensive strengths and to turn my weaknesses into strengths. I think the big thing for me is I've always been able to hit for contact, but I'm trying to hit for more power moving forward in my career.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our next question for you is what do you usually do with other players like Cole Roederer after games and on days off? Obviously, you've had a lot in this off season, and you'll most likely have quite a few in this upcoming season. What do you usually spend your time doing?
Well, we're kind of big gamers, kind of a little nerdy, but we like to play Fortnite. We like to on hard days we have movie nights. We find a movie that's funny and kick back and relax. We just try to find something to get our minds off baseball, and the best way to do that is to find stuff to do. So we usually figure something out.
Yeah.
So on a day of Super Bowl Sunday, Brennen, I got to ask you, do you root for any other professional sports teams, whether it's in the NFL, the NBA, or the NHL?
So I grew up in Arizona my whole life, so I have to say I'm a Suns fan, D-backs fan, and Suns fan, D-backs fan, and Cardinals fan.
Cardinals.
Those are the hometown teams, but obviously now I'm a Cubs fan. Other than that, I have to root for my hometown team.
Yeah, so kind of relating to that question, is there any current MLB players that you're friends with on the Diamondbacks team, Cubs team, or any other team that you talk to quite frequently or hang out with?
I would have to say the most recent friendship that I have is with David Bodie. He's been in the off season, and he's helped me out a lot with my mental side of things and my approach at the game, and just giving that experience that he had this past season. It's just really been awesome for me, being able to grow as a player.
All right, Brennen, do you have a favorite pregame meal, whether that's dating back to when you first started playing when you were younger, or if there's something new that you eat now that you've gotten drafted? What's your favorite pregame meal?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. It varies a lot. I'm not really picky when it comes to pregame meals, but I like to eat, so whatever there is.
All right, Brennen. Well, our next question for you is, what pitch do you find most difficult to hit and why, and how have you attempted to improve on hitting that pitch this offseason and in the past?
So in the AZL, what was a big shock to me was I've never seen a good two-seam and a good cutter. So those pitches were new. This was like my first time seeing a quality one thrown coming from high school, and that was a big adjustment, knowing where I need to make contact with the ball and what they're trying to do to me, where to lay off. Like a two-seam starting in on me isn't going to be a strike because it's just going to end up outside the zone. And I didn't know that at first, so that was a big adjustment. But moving forward, just recognizing spin earlier and understanding what the pitcher has and what they're trying to do to me is going to be the biggest key. Yeah,
so can you explain to us, like, kind of what the process was going through that? Were there certain coaches that helped you adjust to the two-seam and cutter, or was it more of just a mental adjustment of figuring out how to hit that pitch?
Yeah, so after a rough game, I went to some of my coaches and asked them what I needed to do to get better at that. And we have great coaches at the Cubs complex, and they were like, all right, tomorrow we'll set up the machine and let your eyes adjust to how the ball is going to be spinning. So we pregame hit probably like half a bucket of balls on balls that are two-seaming in and cutters. So that was a big help for me because it figured out where I needed my contact point to be in order to do damage with that pitch.
All right, Brennen. When did you first start getting college MLB looks? Was it a time like really young, or was it back in high school more?
So I played basketball growing up. So I was basketball and baseball, but basketball was kind of my main sport because I played it more, actually. So I didn't get my first college look until the summer of my junior year, like late summer, like July. And then I ended up doing pretty well at the area code games, and that's where I got my first MLB look. And then I played well at the Jupiter tournament, and that's where it kind of took off from there.
So was there other teams looking at you other than the Cubs?
Yes, there were.
All right, so our next question for you is, what is one piece of advice that you give to young kids playing the game, and really anything that you struggled with while growing up?
Yeah, so one thing that really resonated with me was one of my coaches in high school. He always told me that baseball is such an up and down game that the people who are going to be the most consistent are the people that do the intangibles. Like, you can't control how you're going to play that day, but you can control the effort you give, hustling on and off the field, giving everything you have, running hard down the baselines. One of my coaches always told me, don't look at the outcome. Look at how you play the game. And if you're playing the game the right way and doing it with all your heart and everything you have, you can't ask for much more. You just take what you got from that game, go make adjustments, and then do it again.
All right, Brennen, sorry, Max, go ahead.
So I just had one quick question for Brennen regarding that. So kind of going based off what you said, so you said you grew up playing basketball. So were you playing both basketball and baseball? Obviously they don't really interfere with each other, but so how'd you do that while you were growing up?
Yeah, it was actually really, really tough because my coaches, they don't really overlap, but my coaches wanted me in the off season. Like baseball wanted me in the off season, and basketball wanted me in the off season. So that was hard. So I had to split time, and I always ended up playing club basketball. So I only played baseball during the season. So I think that's why being in pro ball right now is going to be very good for me, getting the reps that I never really got growing up, because all these other kids have been playing year-round for I don't know how long. I just played during the season. And I think the coaching and all the tools that I have at the Cubs is going to help me be a really good player.
Yeah, definitely. So so regarding that too, did you have to choose either going through high school, did you have to choose either baseball or basketball and what you wanted to do?
I did. It was the beginning of my senior year. The preseason basketball was starting up, and I had played basketball for 3 years. I started the past 2 years on varsity in basketball, and we had just won state the year before. But
wow,
I had so many opportunities open up for me with baseball after the area code games.
Yeah.
That I had to. It took me a few weeks, but it was really hard. But making the decision to really focus on baseball for my senior year and give me an opportunity in the draft was, I think, one of the most important decisions I've made in my life so far.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
All right, and then Brennen, going back to the process with off season and like improving on difficult pitches, what pitch do you think and do you find is the most difficult to hit, and why is that?
Like I said, I think a good two-seam or a good cutter right now is still one of the more difficult pitches for me to hit. A good slider any day is going to be hard to hit, but I think two-seams because they more look like fastballs, and then cutters because the break is so late.